welcome back to Griffin Eye News. I am your guest host, Gwen, and joining me, as always, is the very audacious and amicable Skull the Strifemaker. Hello, darling. Ooh.
I was thinking about big things.
Big things? Yeah,
big,
that certainly qualifies.
Long things, you know?
That sort of ticks all those boxes quite well.
You can block behind it, right?
Well, you can, I suspect, do a bunch of things because it's ginormous.
It's 5 foot 3 inches. Her name is Mercy.
Mercy, as
so
in
we're
she
showing you Mercy.
Show no mercy. It's interesting because our guest this evening is also rather on the, well, he certainly casts a shadow. Let's put it that way.
He does?
Yes, indeed. Indeed. Joining us tonight is Squire to His Excellency Viscount Sir Aidan ap Grandel and Provost to His Excellency Master Baron Raoul de la Roche, Ansgar Stormbreaker.
Also, the champion of the Great Shire of Bitter End.
Indeed.
Indeed.
With the fantastic flow.
And 4-time runner-up for Best Hair in Avacal.
Truth.
I can take that.
Future Griffin Eye News thoughts. All right, back to the matter at hand. We are going to jump right in like we do. So how long have you been playing in the SCA?
I've been playing for about 16 years now.
Okay. And what made you decide to get started with the SCA?
I had a friend go to a quad war. He came back and told me, I went to this medieval thing. I had a blast. This is totally up your alley.
Nice.
You need to come to the next one. And I was like, sure, I'm not doing nothing anyway. Let's go.
So peer pressure all the way.
To the next event, and I've been showing up ever since.
That's awesome.
So what was it about hitting people with large blunt objects that made you think this was a good idea?
I actually started fighting rapier before I started fighting heavy. Rapier was a lot more, it was easily accessible for me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a lot of funding just to hop into some cheaper armor, and I wanted something better, something that was actually going to protect me.
Yes.
And I fought rapier for about 3 or 4 years before I started fighting heavy.
Wow.
And that was the thing that really drew me in anyway, was fighting heavy. And when I started fighting that, I really enjoyed it. And
you found your two halves of the same heart.
Yeah.
Excellent. So do you have, speaking to both halves of that heart, do you have unique moves, different fighting styles, or favorite shots?
I am constantly learning and adapting my fighting. Something my knight has always pushed is learn new skills, learn how to adapt. It's not about having a set move set. It's just get out there, do your very best, block what you can, throw when you can, make openings.
All the necessary things to come out the winner.
And over the years, you've had some fairly creative offhand weapons. I believe there's a chair, a guy named Max, hunk of wood you found in the forest.
Yeah, I remember that hunk of wood. That was a great hunk of wood. That was a great little mini caber, as I came to call it. It broke, and I think I have a chunk of it somewhere. The chair, I was at a quad war during Wench Wars, and I was in the Wench War itself. I was just sort of an object there.
Right.
And they were told to throw me out. I wasn't leaving. So she picked up a jug of water and went to throw it at me. Well, you could see something like that coming a mile away. So I stood up and blocked everything I could with a chair.
what you have at hand.
Yeah,
exactly. I stood up, picked up the chair, and went, "Oh, I don't want to get wet." No. So later that night, someone said, "Well, I now authorize you an offhand chair." So the next event I was able to go to, I found a chair, and I just sat there and waited. Fight started, had the chair in hand, and then continued on from there.
That's amazing.
It was a lot of fun.
So was the chair your favorite offhand weapon then?
I'd have to go with Max. I have a Tiki shield that is retired now. That was hanging on a friend's wall, and someone who was helping me get started went, "That would make an excellent shield. Can we have that?" So we took that, painted him really nice, and I used him for years until he started to finally break down, and I don't think he would be safe on the rapier field any longer, so I don't use him.
Some things serve their time and they're done.
Yes.
Most definitely, yes.
Perfect. Do you have a favorite fighting event that you have attended?
I went to Ursulmus a number of years ago and had just a blast fighting all day.
Yeah.
I took a small break to get something to eat, and then I went back to fighting. I just had fun.
That's awesome.
Tried to start the Avical space program. That didn't work out as well as I hoped, but
I might need a little more context.
What's the Avical space program?
I was fighting a gentleman down there in my Eric. He was fighting with a spear. He let go of his spear with one hand and grabbed the haft of my axe with his other one. Oh. And the only thing I could think of to get him to make him let go was twist violently in all directions. And on the one comeback swing, he let go, and he kind of had a nice arc before he landed. So he had a low orbit. I call that the Avical space program.
That's amazing.
I'm trying to hurl someone far away.
Do you have something against shields? I mean, they're all the rage nowadays. You don't seem to use one, really. Is that personal choice, or you just think you shouldn't hide?
I have a shield.
Really?
Yeah, it's a nice little teardrop. It doesn't get used very often, but I do have one. I just really prefer my axe. It forces me to move, and when I was starting out in heavy, it was a way to help to do a workout. It was great cardio. It's great for movement. And if I have a little stick over a shield, now I have to move a lot more. It really forces me to go from place to place. And holding a shield, that makes your arm tired. Holding an axe is nothing. It's nice and light.
Okay.
That's what you wanted to.
You'd referenced earlier that you have a knight and you have a mod. So how do you balance the responsibilities to each of them? Like, do you have a favorite or no?
No, I don't have a favorite. It's harder for me to get private lessons with Master Rawl. So I am willing to travel, and I have traveled quite a number of times to Mergenwood to get some fighting in with him. I see him at events. I'll talk to him all the time. I'll hang out with him all the time. It's really simple for me. The armor I wear now, I put it on and it's there all day. I can go easily from one discipline to the next. That's exactly why I built it. The first kit I had for heavy was a set of Lamellar. It worked. It protected me, but fighting in one discipline, then gearing down, gearing back up for the next discipline, you get really tired. And I find that with the new stuff, I don't have to change out very much. It's my arms, it's my gauntlets, and my helmet. And that's it.
Yeah.
Everything else stays on, and I'm good to go. Keep it simple.
Well, I guess efficiency is always a good thing. So you mentioned you'd fought to Ursulmes, so you've traveled a bit for fighting. Is there like a dream fight for you? Like you'd like to take down, I don't know, Duke Steercar or King Christian or somebody like that?
There's really no one on that list, no. Anyone that wants to fight me, I'm more than happy to step up and let's go.
Nice.
People that don't want to fight me, I want to know why they don't want to fight me. Is it because I'm big and intimidating? Is it because I use a great weapon and you don't really know how to fight against that? In which case, I will more than happily tell you this is what you should try against great weapons.
Right.
Let's work on that. I'm more than happy to work with them.
Awesome. And anyone in the rapier community? Sorry, is there anyone in the rapier community that would same idea? You're just happy to fight.
Yes.
Do you have like a best fight that you remember, like one that stands out in your mind as, you know, wow, this was just, you know, me and them at the peak of our abilities?
Winter War, that when we had the last one in Camrose, one of the last heavy battles that we were fighting in, the king pulled all the knights to his side and left everyone lowly to fight against the army of the king.
Right.
And it was great. I managed to kill a lot of people. I came across Count Angar in the middle of it, managed to kill him. He thought I was fighting on his side.
Oh no.
Well, Aiden took my squire brother Uriel in that combat. So I got to fight amongst everybody else. And it got down to where it was just me on our side left alive.
Wow.
And I was doing my best to fend everybody off, but I was sort of backed into a corner. I threw a shot here, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Sir Fenric pops up right in front of me and goes, "Hey, I guess I'm dead." But that was just so much fun.
That's
on
awesome.
The rapier side, a few years ago, again at a winter war, Master Rawl was fighting with a great sword when they were sort of first introduced. They might have been 2 years, 3 years in.
Okay.
I was fighting Florentine with two swords, and showed up sort of beside Rawl at the time, and I was defending. I was just blocking swords left, right, sweep, and Rawl was going over my shoulder, stabbing anyone that I blocked. The other army got used to that and went, okay, we need to kill the other guy.
Right.
So we just switched. He was sweeping people and I was cutting. It just went back and forth like that for quite a while. It was just glorious.
That's amazing.
Yep.
So moose time. Why a moose? Why not a goose? Why not a murdered chicken?
The moose, I found a song called Morris the Moose. People know it quite well. I sing it all the time.
It's a favorite.
It is a favorite. It's a wonderful tune. There was a while there where I just hated singing it. People just... We have a
visitor. Speaking of someone who is very in tune with the musical world.
We were talking Bardic, Baron Blue. Do you know anything about Bardic?
I've been known to hang around the Bardic Circle from time to time.
A little bit, hey?
So what brings you to our Zook Hall?
Well, I heard you were entering the famed Ansgar.
Indeed.
We are.
You'll note I use his name and not say, that guy.
But I am that guy.
But having a name is so important. And we were just talking about how Ansgar's musical abilities, how they've gone from to things that'll make you cry in a good way.
Ah. It's impressive.
And so the question came up, of course, Ansgar, currently, what would you say is one of your favorite pieces to perform?
I always do enjoy Morris the Moose, but I do have another song from a man in Borealis, Gregor. He wrote a song called Mercenary Blues. It goes to the tune of 16 Tons.
Yes,
and
yes.
Heard me sing 16 Tons at a karaoke we went to. He went, "You need this song.
Oh.
Here you go."
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Excellent, excellent. And I happen to be chatting with a guy you might know by the name of Raul.
Oh.
Okay.
Now, as I recall, you and Raul are very familiar with each other.
A little bit.
The question came up. You know, Ansgar, you've served as a champion. You've served as a defender. You've served as a provost, and you've served as a squire.
Yes.
Have you ever found yourself at odds with yourself with these very loyalties? Because I know there's a lot of individuals, particularly those who are kind of newer to the whole idea of fealties, and they're concerned that once they lock into a fealty, they will not be free to explore other opportunities and word fame. What would you advise them based upon your personal experience?
I haven't had any real conflict with either of them. When I served as Borealis champion for heavy, I was provost to Master Rawl. So during wars and whatnot, where like Winter War, for example, where it's Borealis versus the world, he knew, and I would ask him, I will be fighting for Borealis. And that really wasn't an issue. When it comes to heavy war, I fight beside Aiden. Rapier war, I fight beside Rawl and the family. Or if I have the time, whoever hires me. I have been hired for a few wars now and then as well. At which point, depending on the war, they just get a cut, which could just be, here's a bottle of booze that I got.
Good to know that.
Yeah, they talk periodically about me and make sure that I'm on the right path to keep going forward.
So your peers talk to each other.
Oh, yes.
I hear that's important for a shared custody.
It would help, yeah.
That co-parenting thing.
So, Ansgar, do you have a persona that you've developed?
As far as my persona goes, I haven't developed a lot of it. The reason why I am a Scotsman is because when I first joined the SCA, I was watching a lot of Samurai Jack, and the Scotsman from that show reminded me, that's me. I am totally that guy. And I've been a Scotsman since day one, and I've never wanted to change.
That's amazing. So how has that influenced your fighting style?
It hasn't.
No?
It's just my attitude towards the way I view things. So when I go to an event to fight, I'm just me. Like, I'm the same guy you'll meet out in public. Unless I'm having a bad day or something, but for the most part, you get the same guy.
Have there ever been any epic songs written about you? Poems, ballads?
There
limericks?
is one quick song that Kashi Machiavelli actually wrote. It goes to the tune of Tigger's song.
Oh
and
my
it's
gosh.
about a kilt.
About your kilt in particular, or just a kilt?
The end line goes, and the most wonderful thing about kilts is Ansgar has the biggest one.
That's amazing.
Yes, it was quite wonderful when she just spouted that off at a random event while I was in earshot and standing close.
Well, this is where I need to toot your horn too, and sort of mine, because there was an event in Bitter End that I forgot to bring libation, and you agreed to share, but I had to write a song about you. And I did. Did I write it down?
No. I do remember that. You just let it go off the top of your head, and it was very humorous.
You figured it was worth 2 bottles of cider? So
something I had kicking around, I think, yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that was fun.
So Known World, if you were present at that event and you know any of the words to that song, please contact us.
I think it was a Harvest Feast 2014.
Okay,
possibly, right. Yeah. That was a while ago.
Oh my gosh. So I've heard that you used to break storms and now stones. Why the career change?
When we were trying to pass my name, we couldn't pass Stormbreaker because there's no physical way for you to actually break a storm. So we got the paper, we got that back, looked down the list and went, well, why not Stonebreaker? It sounds just as good. I agreed. I hummed and hawed on it. Went, yeah, sure, that works. And we just, all right, cool. We highlighted a different word on the paperwork and sent it in. Here you go. We created this new name. So Stonebreaker it became.
Oh.
Darn those heralds.
Excellent.
So the ESCA has been going on for a while now, more than a year. Are there any aspects of it that you would like to see continued going forward once things are back to being in person?
I've joined a few Bardic nights, and I've really had a lot of fun just listening and singing and watching people perform. It's been a lot of fun. So every now and then something like that could continue. That would be fantastic. I know we won't be able to do as many online things like we've done, but continuing with Bardic nights when there's no events happening would be fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, just people chatting randomly, like, here, I'm opening a Zoom meeting for this, so everyone's welcome. Let's get together and just sit back and listen to everybody. I think that's just been fantastic for putting our group dynamic together.
Yeah.
Because you get a whole bunch of people from different kingdoms and different areas. I dropped in on a Penzic pirate meeting a couple weeks ago, and I got to just sort of sit back and listen to that. That was a lot of fun.
That sounds entertaining, yes.
That sounds like an amazing fly on the wall experience.
It was.
That's awesome. So I have a 3-part question. We're going to mash it all into one.
All
so
right.
If someone brand new wanted to get started, A, generically in the SCA, B, in heavy fighting, and C, in rapier, do you have recommendations for bits and pieces? How would you suggest someone wanted to go about doing that?
When someone new showed up to our fight practices in Borealis, I would suggest, we got some loner gear, put it on.
Yeah.
We're more than happy to show you, how to fight, how to throw shots properly, how to just get out there and try it. It's the same thing with the rapier stuff. We have a lot of loner gear at rapier. You can at least pick up a sword and try some stuff. you're new to the SCA, just come to events, come to practices, go to the little social gatherings, find us online now.
Yeah.
If we're doing events, check us out. That's really all you can do.
Fabulous.
Okay. And so we've talked about your time as a protege, squire, champion. Have you ever been an officer in any branch in the SCA?
I just finished my term as Knight Marshal for Borealis.
Huh.
That ended in December.
Okay.
I did 4 years of that. It was good.
Yeah. Last year, I suspect, was fairly quiet for you.
The reports were very simple, yes.
Nothing to
report.
So what keeps you coming back to the SCA?
The people.
Yeah.
The friendships I've made, the families I've joined. That's just that simple. I keep meeting new people that I really like the company of. I keep going out. It's just a lot of fun.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Do you have any favorite memories or moments that you'd like to share?
Stuff that's already been shared, actually.
Okay.
It's the fighting stuff. You could probably cut this section off.
It's nice that you're able to have that be part of your everyday lexicon, and it's not just one specific thing that you can pick out. It's covers all of your stuff. That's amazing. Any final comments that you'd like to share with Abigail, with the known world, with the Griffin Eye News audience?
I know it's tough right now, but we will be able to get together again. I hope sooner rather than later. That's just, we can keep doing these interesting online things, and I hope sooner rather than later that we can actually get together again and do what we do best.
Yes.
Have the fun.
All of the fun. So ready for the fun. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure to see you, spend time with you as always. We certainly appreciate you taking time out to come and talk with us today. Thank you, Skilled, as always, for being a fabulous wingman. And we will see you next week, everyone. Bye.
Bye.